When Marlies Pomper and her family were starting to get comfortable living in Perth, Australia for 4 years, they had no other option but to leave. Marlies, 50 years old, is a housewife from the Netherlands who lived in Australia before coming to Qatar 8 years ago. Her husband is a petroleum geologist working for Shell, and they often move from place to place.
The job was finished, and there was not an option staying longer, although we would have loved to.
According to the New York Times, in 2008, oil prices dropped from $145 to $59 per barrel. This caused a lot of workers in oil and gas to become unemployed, and when it came time for Marlies' family to move in 2011, their only options were Brazil or Qatar, where there are always jobs available, as oil and gas is largely responsible for a large amount of Qatar's revenue. According to SalaryExplorer.com, the average salary for a petroleum geologist with 15 to 20 years of experience in Australia, like Marlies' husband, is $80,000 with taxes, whereas in Qatar, since there are no taxes, it's $85,000.
But we couldn't stay longer because of work commitments, and if we would stay longer, it was a financial issue because our salary will go down a lot less.
One of Ravensea's laws of migration is that migration occurs over short distances, and for Marlies' case, that was true, as Qatar is closer to Australia than Brazil is.
It's the distance that was also a big factor in our decision.
Also, the distance from home, the Netherlands, was a factor in their decision.
Because Australia is far away and we didn't have that many people who come and visiting us.
As expats living abroad for work, Marlies didn't get to see her family very often, as Australia is a 20-hour flight away from the Netherlands, whereas to Qatar it's only 6. In their decision between Qatar and Brazil, a reason for choosing Qatar was safety.
We didn't do Brazil because Rio de Janeiro is quite dangerous, and also the schooling, we were not sure if this was right for our family.
According to The Guardian, there were rallies in 2013 of people frustrated with escalating costs and poor public services in Brazil. This caused a decrease of emigration to Brazil due to high costs and bad public services like transport and schooling. And Marlies' 2 children were going to middle school and high school at the time. Qatar is in stage 3 of the demographic transition model, as there is rapid economic growth in Qatar and a more industrialized way of life. The total fertility rate dropped due to increasing family planning, contraceptives, education, and a lower infant mortality rate. Though Qatar is on its way to becoming a more economically developed country, or MEDC, Australia is in stage 4 of the demographic transition model, meaning Australia has a well-developed economy, jobs, and resources. According to The Guardian, more people from Hong Kong are looking to emigrate to Australia. People like young professionals seeking career advancements and young families looking for good services and schools. In the population pyramid of Australia on populationpyramid.net, it shows a small bulge of people aged 25 to 35. And if Marlies had stayed in Australia, her husband's salary would have decreased drastically, because companies like to hire young, smart workers full of potential, and to make room for those people, they have to let older people go. Today, Australia has many people migrating there, whereas in 1968, when Marlies was born, Australia was in stage 3 of the demographic transition model. Due to a gold rush in the 1900s, the economy had started to become more developed. There were stable jobs, food, and resources. Deaths were low, and births started decreasing as the population pyramid shows more children and more people living longer. This steady increase in the development of Australia caused it to be the way it is today. But according to the New York Times, recently, the government created policies limiting migration to Australia, as Australians say that their country no longer needs more people. In the end, Marlies Pomper would have loved to stay in Perth, Australia, but she and her family emigrated to Qatar for work, a similar reason for millions of other expatriates moving here.